Hope today finds you well and okay. I'm going to give you a couple of notes. I have provided you with the paper copy of this presentation, so hopefully that helps a little bit. And you can take your own notes on it if you want to do it in Notability or if you want to print it off at home, but this way you have another copy. So anyway, today we're going to continue with talking about activities that we do. So we practice with je, talking about I do activities. Je joue au foot. We've asked our partners about activities they do. So we've used the tu. Tu regardes la télé. And today we're going to talk about activities that we do together with other people. So I want you to look at these pictures and just listen to what I'm saying. Nous étudions. Nous dessinons. Nous textons. Nous jouons. Nous bavardons. Nous écrivons. Nous lisons. Nous nous amusons. Okay, did you hear how I started each sentence? With what word did all of my sentences and descriptions begin with? Nous. Very good. So we've looked at this before, but just so we can remember, nous is the English equivalent of we, W-E. So when we're talking about activities that we do with other people, with our friends, with our families, with our classmates, we're going to use nous to begin our sentence. Okay? So that S is silent. Be careful when you say it. Nous. Now, what did we hear at the end of each activity? When I said what we were doing, nous écrivons, nous étudions, you should have heard this on sound at the end. Nous étudions, nous lisons. Now, I want you to look at some of these sentences written out. Nous étudions. See how there's that O-N-S on the end? Do I pronounce the S? No. And if you look here, I'm going to say it again. Nous étudions. Don't forget, I just told you to pronounce N-O-U-S like nous, unless the next word begins with a vowel. Then you're going to use that liaison. Let's look at another example. Nous dessinons. Nous textons. See, there's people in the background texting as well, not just Jonathan. Nous jouons. Nous bavardons. So, how did I do this? How did I know how to spell it? Okay, if you go to your resource packet for your Unit 5, you should have had all of the activities written down. So let's say we want to look at, we want to describe this picture here. These kids over here that are dancing. So first thing I have to say is, what's the verb to dance? Danser. In order to say we dance, here's what I'm going to do. I get rid of that ER on the end. Just going to have D-A-N-S. See how that D-A-N-S here is the same as I just took that ER off. I'm going to say we, which we know is nous, and then for all of the verbs, all I'm simply going to do is add the O-N-S on the end. Nous dansons. We dance. Now, what I want you to know is these work with all of those verbs that we talked about that end in, oops, sorry, there. Oh, zoot. Isn't this just like Madame? Okay. Well, if technology worked for me, it wouldn't be Madame, right? Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. Danser here is got the ER on the end. This works for all of those verbs that end in ER. Danser, étudier, stresser, nager, jouer, chanter, danser, dessiner, manger, cuisiner. There's a whole bunch of them that end in ER. Let's look at our other example. There we go. Now we're going to describe this picture. So first I ask myself, what is the activity they're doing? Jouer au basket. Got it? What's the first thing I have to do? I look at that verb here, and I'm going to get rid of that ER. Just leaves me jou, J-O-U. Now to say we do it, I'm going to start my sentence with which word? Nous. I'm going to take this stem, J-O-U, and I'm going to add the O-N-S on the end of it. Nous jouons au basket. We play basketball. Make sense? Okay, it's pretty easy. You just have to remember O-N-S. Don't pronounce the S here on the end, just jouons. Two exceptions to the rule, because you know it's French. Manger and nager are both exceptions. And it's because they have this G at the end. Remember, G is one of those words that, or one of those letters that have two pronunciations. They've got the G and the J. You don't need to worry so much about this except to make sure you know to do this in the spelling. The pronunciation doesn't change. It's easy. If we were just not to look over here, and I just wanted you to say, how do we say we eat? You'd say nous mangeons. Makes sense. We swim, nous nageons. The only difference is in the spelling. And what they do, and it's only when you've got a G, it's only in the new form, and it's only so there's an O-N-S. You insert an E in here. And all that does is make the G soft, like je instead of g. If you forget it, it's not going to be the end of the world. I just want to know that you have it in here and that you kind of understand where it's coming from. But if you're just speaking, you don't even have to worry about it because you'd already know to say, for this one, nous mangeons, and for this one, nous nageons. So just that little E has to get inserted there. Okay, those are ER verbs, right? We've got it. So now let's look at our other verbs, which are irregulars. So we've got a couple of different things we need to look at here. Unfortunately for the irregulars, well, let's say fortunately first. Fortunately for the irregulars, they still end in ONS, but it's not so much a matter of dropping the ER because remember your irregulars kind of have different things, so it's kind of memorizing what comes in front of the ONS. So if you look, we've got nous écrivons, we write. The V is a little goofy in there, but what you need to do is you should find this on your Unit 5 resource packet. Remember, for my students, this is that extra page that we added onto our resource packet at the end with all the little charts on it. So, nous écrivons, nous lisons, we read from the verb lire, and nous nous amusons. This was that other one that had that ce in front of it. It's still an ER verb, so it looks the same on the end, but it's got that little extra ce. Remember, the expression to have fun is s'amuser. The place, remember when we said, I have fun, je m'amuse? This becomes nous nous amusons. Okay? I want you to try a couple. So you're going to have a little activity where you're going to add some pictures of you and your friends doing certain activities and writing some sentences out. So what I want to make sure I tell you to do is look at your vocab list, look at your resource packet. If it ends in ER, super easy, drop the ER, add your ONS. And if it doesn't end in ER, it's irregular, so you need to look it up on your charts. Like faire les devoirs is nous faisons les devoirs. You'll have it somewhere in there so you can kind of see. On your back, on my vocabulary list, it is the very back extra page. So let's see how we do. You're going to do a Quizlet practice. You're going to do some writing, and we'll see where we are before we meet next time. Okay, au revoir, mes amis.